Hi, I'm Dorothea and I love to cruise, but I cruise with a food allergy. And I wanted to make this video for anyone who loves to cruise or wants to try it out, but isn't sure what to expect when you're traveling with dietary restrictions. I'm here to share my experience with you and share some insights that I hope will be helpful to you. I want to set your mind at ease. Not only is cruising with a food allergy possible, it's enjoyable and safe. I have a gluten allergy and I've also traveled needing other restrictions like dairy-free. So I've cruised with more than just one need at a time. I don't have a celiac diagnosis, but I have a close family member who does, and she cruises all the time. So between the two of us, I've got some real insight to share. Most of my experience is on Royal Caribbean, but I've also cruised Disney and Celebrity. Disney is almost hypervigilant about allergies. Honestly, for me, it was a little overwhelming, but if that level of care brings you comfort, you'll love it. They're extremely conscientious about cross-contamination, down to the butter. Mine was always presented as your gluten-free butter. I asked why, since butter is naturally gluten-free, and it came down to this. It wasn't cross-contaminated. That's the level of detail they operate at Disney. On Royal Caribbean, the buffet in the Windjammer has a good number of gluten-free items, and many are labeled with allergen signs. But labeled doesn't necessarily guarantee that it's free of cross-contamination. It varies ship by ship, and some ships have a dedicated gluten-free section on the buffet. But here's what to do. Ask the staff where the gluten-free food is and what their protocol is on that specific ship. Some will want you to talk directly to the chef over that station. They'll take your order and bring your food out to you personally. If you want something that isn't on the dedicated line, ask. They'll do what they can to get it to you if they're able to. Two things to keep in mind, though, is that many Royal Caribbean ships have a dedicated fryer, so the French fries are safe. And they carry gluten-free hamburger buns. So for lunch or a snack, a burger and fries is a safe, easy go-to. Here's the other. When your food is specially prepared, it takes longer. If you're traveling with people who aren't restricted and they're eating straight off the buffet, you'll be waiting around while they eat. That's just part of it. Your food will be fresh and good, but you have to be patient. Don't let it get to you the way it sometimes gets to me. Let's talk about the main dining room versus specialty restaurants. My advice is to just eat in the main dining room as much as possible for dinner. Specialty restaurants will accommodate your allergy, but those restaurants cost extra and you often can't enjoy all of the dishes that make that restaurant special. At Giovanni's or Jamie's Italian, for example, you'll get a gluten-free pasta option, but maybe not the lasagna or tortellini, not the dishes everyone raves about. Choose a scheduled dinner time, the early or late seating, rather than anytime dining, because you're going to get the same wait staff every night and they'll learn your needs and watch out for you. Now, all of the ships offer pizza. Some of the larger ships have a dedicated restaurant called Sorrento's. Regardless of which way they offer the pizza, you can request a gluten-free pizza. You just have to go in and tell them what you would like and what you want on it. They will special make it for you. They also take gluten-free precautions. Now, here's the caveat. It is going to take some time. I would set aside 20 to 30 minutes for that process. I know that it can be really inconvenient. However, if you know that in advance and you prepare for it, you can make your plans around that time and go in and order it, go do some shopping and come back. But you can get a gluten-free pizza, and they're actually very good. Another insider tip is that you can order the premium steak and lobster tail in the main dining room for an extra charge. And those items are Chops quality, but they're much cheaper than the whole Chops dining experience, where you may or may not be able to enjoy all the bells and whistles. Call ahead of time and let them know your needs, especially if you have more than one restriction. There's also a special needs form you can fill out online before your cruise. I usually do both. I fill out the form and I call just to make sure they're fully prepared. Okay, on embarkation day, after you check in at your muster station, look for the main dining room open for lunch. There are usually 3 decks and 1 will be open. I go up to the host and say my name, my cabin number, and that I have a gluten allergy. They'll usually just tell me to let my wait staff know at dinner, and so I am sure to follow up with that. Now, the first night is going to be the most difficult. They will have items on the menu marked gluten-free, but the first night you'll just really need to choose from those options. But in preparation for the next night, they'll ask you to place your order for the following evening a day in advance, which means your food is made to order and safe. Now, for breakfast, you can also eat in the main dining room. And just like dinner, you can special order the night before. They have gluten-free pancakes, sometimes even waffles, and always they have bread for toast. And that gluten-free better. Breakfast in the main dining room assures you that your food won't be cross-contaminated as it could be on the buffet. So here's another tip for dinner. If something on the dinner menu isn't marked gluten-free, but you'd really like to try it, ask anyway. Give them that as your first choice and have a backup ready, because often they can modify a recipe to be gluten-free, and they have a dedicated gluten-free kitchen. Just know that the texture and look may be a little different from the original. Sometimes it turns out great and sometimes it doesn't, but they will try. Don't skip dessert. I've had gluten-free apple cobbler and a cake that was both gluten-free and dairy-free, and both were delicious, and they typically have ice cream as well. What to expect around the ship. Now, you won't be able to eat at every grab-and-go spot, deli, or cafe on the ship. That's just reality. But wherever you go, ask what gluten-free options they have and what they can do for you, because usually they can do something. Johnny Rockets, for example, does have that gluten-free hamburger bun, but you have to special order it and expect it to take a little bit of extra time. The bottom line is relax. You'll find safe food and you will eat well. If you have questions, ask me. I'll do my best to answer them. And if you're a seasoned cruiser with food allergies yourself, I'd love to hear from you. Did I miss a tip? Drop it in the comments.